Welcome back to my YouTube channel again, where the worst clarinet photography on YouTube exists, but today we'll be using a webcam instead. This is a spin-off from my mouthpiece refacing episodes, but today we'll just take a look at old reeds, old vintage reeds, like old Selmers. We'll look at Vandoren, Buffet, Lelandais, and Selmer Paris Reeds. Later on, we'll take a look at a wide variety of other brands such as Populaire, Ideal, Vibrator, Sharpine, and other ones in either one or two more episodes. They're quite interesting, some of them in their designs, with cutout slots, with cutout holes in them in the design of the reeds. You can see pictures of these on my website, clarinetperfection.com, in a reed section, I believe. I haven't worked on that page in a while, though. That's why we're doing videos of everything now. We'll do a few things, though, today so you can learn more about reeds. One is we're going to take a look at the vein types, whether they're thick or thin reeds. We're going to use this light table over here and actually look through the reeds. At least I hope we will see it. We're also going to learn about looking at the butt end of the reed and seeing if the shoulders are symmetrical. Sometimes you find reeds where one shoulder is higher than the other shoulder, so it's off balanced, or somewhere these shoulders are really low and the middle of the spines are really tall, and we'll just kind of go through reeds and see what we have. So there's a lot of things you'll learn there, and you'll find some that are thinner than other ones being thicker. There's a wide variety of things. First thing I'd like to mention is when I used to, well, still do actually, I love these aluminum reed guards. I still have them and use them. Anytime, any type is fine. You know, plastic ones. These are from Rico, USA. They come in, two-sided or 2x2 or anything. Now, these are interesting. There's one actually back up here someplace, right up there. This is a Steuben's reed guard. Very old. Clear plastic, metal rods, and some plastic tubing on them for reeds to keep them nice and flat. Of course, the name on here, you can feel the name. So it's not so flat now, is it? A lot of interesting things we have here. But let me change cameras now, and we're going to get right to the reeds. And the thing is, as we learn more about them, you'll find out when you discard reeds, you may be able to actually identify good reeds and bad reeds. You may not like ones with really thick, tall spines or uneven shoulders, or you may not like them with the vein type that they have. And this is something you'll learn. Also, another thing is be careful with cheap reeds. When my kids were playing saxophone and clarinet, I bought some Rico reeds, and I was getting basically splinters from them. They weren't really finely smooth, and a Rico Royal, Hemke, or any variety of other higher end brand for $1 more is worlds better than those original Ricos. But let's change cameras right now. Bingo, here we go. First, I want to show you the butt ends of the reeds. You'll first notice that I actually number the sections on the reed guard 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I keep track of what I'm using. What I want to show here is if we take a good look here, can we? Yep. You can see this one reed here on this side is taller in the shoulders than this one over here. And it's a little bit thicker cut in the back than the front. Of course, when they cut them and they create the shape here, the taller the reed is, the more it'll cut down, but the harder this back section will be. This one here, of course, has a different cut. This has a French cut. We take the cane off the front end side here, as we can see here. So those are things to watch for in reeds. Let's see if we have a better example. Here's another example. This reed is a lot thicker than this one. You should easily be able to see that. This is thicker on the shoulders and the middle as it is over here. And these are both 3 Imperial Classic reeds. So as you start working with reeds more, you pay attention to the butt end of them and how they are. Let's actually get to the boxes here real quickly. Let me move these out of the way. So let's start with Vandoren, the ones right in front of us. We have multiple vintage Vandorens. As you can see in these old boxes here. These are earlier generation. And this is 2.5 clarinets. This reed, I don't know if we'll be able to see it clearly. But this side of the shoulder is far thinner, less height than this side. So it's kind of off balance, but we'll take a look at the light table. Here you can see basically a mixture of thin part of the wood and these thick veins going through. And you can see the tip is up here. Kind of still bright. Oh, that's too dark. Anyways, it's really thin up here. You can see the cut of the reed as we turn on the light here. Actually, that's too much. The web camera keeps wanting to change the lightness intensity. I could block that out. Let me try blocking that out. Oh, that's better. We can see here the thick veins going through the wood, the bamboo. And when we get to a point where we're going to learn about shaping the reed, we'll find out the importance of this. The thinner and longer this thin part is, the easier the reed is to play, but the more buzzy it gets and the more waterlogged it gets quickly. Of course, it makes it easier to play from the get-go. And the tone gets thinner also, in general. So that is our old clarinet reeds. Let's take a look at this vintage now. It has a seal going all around. This is, look at that. Can we see that there? It has information about the mouthpiece and hardness. This is what happens when you go to a music store and that's going out of business and you buy out all their reeds that they have in stock. So tenor, this is a says 5. Holy cow. Who would use a 5? Looks fairly balanced. Oh, there we go. This one side looks thinner than this side a bit. Here the veins don't look quite as thick as the other one, but they're more thicker overall, the wood. Of course, this is a tenor piece of 5. Really a 5, I can use this to build a shed or something. Anyways, more thicker veins in this one. You know, it's really not a thicker cane, so it's just a thicker cut going up to the tip more. So that's of that vintage. Let's take a look at these here. Oops, empty box. Here we go. More tenor sax reeds. This is number 3.5 to 4. Oh, this one is really thick. Really, really thick reed cut up here. We can see some consistent veins with Vandorens. They kind of look consistent. These are thinner veins, but more of them. Not as thick as the early ones we've seen. Nice cuts, nice tip. Really nice reed. I should try some of these sometime. I normally like to use Vandoren. I really like their clarinet reeds and their saxophone reeds. So I do use Hemke and other brands too. We're going to move to the famous purple box. And these are also tenor sax reeds, number 3. This is a number 3 for tenor. It, once again, is another one that's imbalanced. One shoulder is lower than the other one. Nice smooth cane, though, considering its age. I think these were in the 80s, I believe. From my perspective, the web camera is focusing differently on the reed because of the light behind it. But it's thinner veins in this one, more consistent across the entire reed face. Nice cut, nice consistent, as you can see, different levels of shade going through the reed. And those are the purple box Vandorens. Well, I guess there's more purple boxes, aren't there? Now, these purple Vandorens come in these purple reed holders that we have here. I don't like these. You can snap the tip off, but that's kind of where they are. This one is a really thick cut. You can see it here. It looks consistent to me, consistent left to right. You can see dashes on here from it being held by the machine. Nice smooth surface. Vandoren Paris. This is interesting. It really has thin veins in most of it. Down the middle, shifts slightly over some thicker veins that are cut into. The facing, as you can see, is consistent on the top. We got this thicker, taller part in the middle, the darker, thicker veins actually, and nice, consistent next segment right here. Looks to be nice. Holy cow, these are 5s. I actually remember buying these. Like, hey, I think I'll try 5. You know, why not? I think I tried 1 and that was it. Insanity of youth, right? Of course, then Vandoren went to their big boxes and these actually came from there. They went to these ceiling things, and I'm not going to open one now, but that's Vandoren for us. Let me put these to the side. Next up, we have some actual buffet identified reeds, marketed reeds. Here we go. You'll see these in these, well, smaller cases usually in buffet clarinet reed cases, individually wrapped in the plastic, saying buffet. Just looking at the end of these top 3, the cut on the butt of the reed is fairly crude. Wow. Like they just took a regular circular saw and did these. Holy cow. Over here, this comes up to thin on the left side, thin on the right side. This middle one has thick cuts in the shoulders, and this other one is thick cut on one, super thick cut on one side, thick on the other side, kind of high in the middles too for all of them. Let's actually pull 2 of them from here. It actually looks like a really nice reed when you're looking through the light table here. Veins are fairly small, consistent. Cut isn't as curved as the other Vandoren reeds were. And you can see first segment cut, second segment cut. Actually looks like a pretty good reed, actually. Yeah, look at this. Look at all these chips on the side. So the chips on the edge there, it's from the circular saw I used my hand. Now this one, we can see an offside cut. It's light on this side, kind of curves up and comes down this way. So kind of inconsistent cut on the reed here. Second segment comes up this way, same way. So the middle of this reed is actually right about here, the way it's cut. It's off to the side. Real interesting. These are actually alto saxophones, so they came with a buffet saxophone, I guess. I really like buffet saxophones from back in the 80s and 70s. But I actually played Selmer Paris horns and Koff Coworth horns at that time. Next up, you'll recognize this name. I can never pronounce it right. Lelandais. The perfect reed for the perfect mouthpiece. And I have some of the mouthpieces here too. I have tenor, alto sax, thought I had clarinet. I got this big box of reeds just laying around forever. So here are some tenor sax reeds. I'm gonna pull one right off the top. Wow, this is a really thick cut. Shoulders are slightly uneven. Probably see here, this shoulder's a little bit not as tall as this one. Really thick cut on top. I don't know if we can see anything from the side. Really thick cut till it gets cut down. Let's take a look at, is there a hardness in this thing? It's probably a 7 or something, who knows? Looking at the light table now, we got fairly consistent medium thick veins in it going across the entire reed face. I don't know if you can see this, but the light for the first segment comes up this way, then dips down this way. Second segment kind of goes up in the middle and comes back down this way. Kind of real weird cut. So the sides are thinned out good, which is good. That's the way I actually like them. And it's thicker going up the middle, which is the way I like it too. It requires a little bit more air support, but you get a much deeper tone, much deeper, more consistent tone, and good pitch too. So I actually like the cut on this reed. Now we're going to get to my favorite brand of reed that I never play. Yes, that's right. Infamous Henri Selmer reeds. We have the Soloist. We have the more newer Omega from the 80s and released, I don't remember, what, 5-6 years ago or something? The newer Selmer reeds. These retail for $45. Bought it from, they're out in Las Vegas. Forgot the name off the top of my head. For $25. We'll start with the Soloists. These are 2.5 tenor sax reeds. We'll go to let's go to a 3 instead. 3 tenor sax reeds. Oh, these had different colors too. Like 3s were green and there was black and there's a blue. Kind of odd, isn't it? What we have is looks to be a fairly consistent cut. You can see 4 marks here holding the reed in place too. What other brand had that? I don't remember. Fairly consistent reed. Put in the light table. You notice too, some, maybe not on this light table, maybe it's too bright. Some are actually cut on the sides a little bit more than other ones. This comes from the type of clippers that they use when they cut them. You know, this is manual clipper. You may have seen these before. You can look on this edge here and you can see the curvature it gives the reed tip. This, I believe, is probably an alto sax, looks like. If you check out my wall sometimes, you'll see this reed clipper, really a vintage one. made from, oh, I can't read, WM trademark. It says Elton up here. I'm not quite sure who that is. Anyways, it's slightly adjustable, but once again, a reed cutter there. It's up on my wall. So this is a 3. Let's try a different color or different hardness. This is a 2. And these are in purple. Look at that, purple. Selmer Soloist 2. Made in France. The cut of the reed, the middle of it is slightly offset, a little bit thicker on one side than the other, not by much. Don't know if you can see that. Let's take a look at the shape of the reed. Once again, the middle is slightly offset, as you can see in the cut of the reed is right about here and here, offset to the side. First segment you can see, second segment comes up down up here, and the spine's right down the middle. Probably a nice playing reed other than slightly offset. Let's come up to Omegas. I remember buying these. I bought these in high school. I think I played one of them, and well, I like Selmer anything, like Buffet anything, but didn't really like playing the reeds. Oh, look at this one. Can you see the darkness in it? In fact, these ones are the same way. This is nice and clean. You can see these dark brown spots through the reed, especially this one. Really a lot of dark spots to the reed. 3.5 Omegas. I don't know what this really is. Is it petrifying? Anyways, let's put it up against the light table. Ooh, look at this. That brown part is the veins that are, cut in an angle. They're lifting and they're browning out. Cut is, well, these veins kind of go up through it. The cut is, yeah, as you can see, it's kind of like it is there. The veins really distorted a lot. There's really a short second segment. So the first segment's there, second segment's right here. And like the other ones that we saw before, they would actually come up this way and back down this way. So the sides were thinner, unlike like Vandoren and the earlier Selmers. I don't know whether this particular reed, let's actually grab the one that looks better. Right up on the light table. Oh, this is a weird cut. Looking at it from my perspective, don't know if you can see it. Like the first segment actually comes down this way and up this way. And the second segment kind of comes this way and back this way. It's like backwards. No wonder I never liked playing these reeds. 36 years later, I realized why I don't like playing those reeds. Okay. So now let's get to the more recent version. Henri Selmer sax reeds. I'm of the mindset where some of these Selmer things you buy just to look at. And then you try to figure out how they opened up. There we go. Yeah, give it a good tug right there. Did I read that right? 6 reeds for $45. I think I'll put these on a frame on the wall or something. Holy cow. Wow, this thing's really thick. This thing is really thick. Wow. Really thick sidewalls. They seem to be fairly thick sidewalls. They seem to be fairly consistent. Feels like a 2x4. A Looking at the cut. Wow. You can see what the cut is like. It's taller up here and comes down here. First segment, second segment. It's kind of tall up here, comes down this way. And Selmer started out making reeds. Henri Selmer, that's one of the first products they had was reeds. No wonder they start making them and stop making them. Well, I hope you enjoyed that and I hope you learned something from it as we went over some vintage Vandoren reeds, Buffet reeds, Lelandais reeds, and Selmer Paris reeds. One thing I learned from this, I've never actually looked at it before, was now I realize why I don't like Selmer reeds. The wreath crest is really pretty to look at, but that's why I never like Selmer reeds. Their cut is, I hate to say useless, but I'm sure people out there like them. I have a bunch of them, but I just never, I would play one once in a while and not like the way it played, respond or anything, and just go back to Vandoren, or I think he was Hemke reeds also. So I want to thank you for listening to my ramblings, especially today so far. Any questions, comments, put it down below. Don't forget to give a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and share. You gotta love the knowledge, gotta love life, gotta love clarinets, saxophones, and especially our reeds. Well, you may not like some of the reeds, but you may like the other reeds. Anyways, we'll see you next time.